Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm the blogger behind BrighterDarling.com. Today, as you can tell from the title, we are going to be doing a bronzer off with the Kosas bronzer. I guess this is called I don't know what it's called, but it's the Kosas bronzer and the new Ilia Nightlight Bronzing Powder. These basically launched the exact same time, maybe within a day or two of each other. I don't even know if it was that much. It might have even been the same damn day. But as somebody who's been into cleaner beauty, I want to be able to try all the new things and share it with you guys, not just Beautycounter related. So I picked up not just the bronzers, but I also picked up the Kosas concealer. I'm wearing that today as well. And I picked up the Ilia highlighter, which I'm also wearing that today as well. So to give you guys the gist of it, I will put the prices down of both of these, but they're extremely similar. They both are talc-free formulas. They both say they're moisturizing. I mean, I don't really know how moisturizing a powder can truly be, but for all intents and purposes, they do say that they are talc-free moisturizing formulas. The Ilia has 0.26 ounces or 7.47 grams, whereas the Kosas comes in slightly less product with 0.21 ounces or 6 grams. So, with that being said, my initial thoughts between both of these were that I bought the Kosas first, I tried the Kosas first. It does have a sheen. It is not a matte bronzer, so don't think that this is something you're going to be like really contouring with. I am wearing both of these today, split phase. Maybe you can tell a difference, maybe you can't, I don't know. But my preference does lean, I'm not gonna even hold up the thoughts process, but my preference does lean on the Kosas. I prefer this better. I like the formula. I think it's easier to blend. I think it looks prettier on the skin, and I overall think it lasts a little bit better on my skin personally. But why I like it is because I do like this sheen. I feel like this sheen is what makes it look really healthy on the skin. I'm wearing it on this side. I think it just blends really nice and naturally, and I really have zero complaints about this bronzer. I've been very much enjoying it. So there's that. This also comes in 3 shades, light, medium, and dark. And I've recommended this to a few friends. They've purchased it and they're telling me that they also have loved it. And it's been, one person said it's her favorite bronzer she's ever tried of all time. And she's a Jersey girl and she says she's gone through a lot of bronzers. So she's also telling me that the Kosas one has been her new fave. Oh my God. Sorry, the second bronzer, so the Ilia bronzer. This one is, the biggest difference you're gonna see is this is not, this has no shine, it's matte. I have the darker shade. They made 2 shades in this formula. The lighter shade simply looked too light for me. It looked like it was essentially my skin tone. So I picked this one up to simply compare. It wasn't like I was in the market for another bronzer. My initial thought is I actually really didn't like the packaging. I feel it's very bulky, although it's very nice to have this nice mirror. Kosas does not have a mirror. It has this cool packaging though. It's simply, the plastic feels a little cheap. I don't know if that's gonna, like, I don't know. It just feels really, actually very chintzy, the plastic in general. The color of it, pretty, like this beautiful peachy pink, love that. But it just, the packaging feels bulky and cheap to me. The formula has a lot of kick up in this bronzer. And when you see me apply it, I don't know, it almost, on camera, it's actually also looking like it's almost translating a little patchy. Whoops. That is not just the camera, that is in person too. I feel like the Kosas looks so much smoother. The Ilia is a little patchy. It pulls a little bit, and I don't love that about it. So that's my thoughts on this one. I will touch very briefly on the highlighter though. This I am loving. So I purchased the highlighter. It's in the exact same packaging. I do wish on the back they used stickers that were different colors. They are not. They're exactly the same color. So you really have no idea if you're grabbing a bronzer or a highlighter, which is kind of obnoxious. Unless you're looking at the words, which, I mean, who has time for reading when you're getting ready really fast? But this is the Decades highlighter. I actually am wearing it today. I'm gonna actually pop a little more on just really quickly because it's not really a highlighter review, but I do love this highlighter. I think it's super pretty. It really feels like it melts into the skin, and I really like that. So if it was me, I'm giving you the truth, or I'm sorry, I'm giving you the no BS recommendations coming from my perspective. I would go with the Kosas bronzer, but then the Ilia highlighter. For all intents and purposes, if you want to know, I would also pick up this Kosas concealer. I think it's pretty bomb. So you can go ahead now. We'll skip to the demo so you can actually see me applying it live. But my preference is the Kosas. I think it wears prettier, it applies prettier, it's a lot more foolproof to apply, and the Ilia just isn't there for me. I do really like the highlighter though. So, all right, let's just get into the application. I know I have some mascara on this lid. We're gonna let it dry. I have to clean it off once it's dry, but in the meantime, I want it to not hold up time, so we're going to do the bronzer. Okay, so on this side, I'm going to do the Kosas. On this side, I'm gonna do the Ilia. Okay. We're gonna have to use the same brush because I don't own two of the same. And I have been using this Beautycounter brush. It's just like a big giant chunky fan brush to apply bronzer over the last few weeks. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go in with the Kosas first for good reason. So the Kosas one, I'm sure I've already talked about it in the video, the introduction, but this is what it looks like. We're gonna go in, start on the top of my forehead here. And you'll see the biggest difference with these two is that this builds up a lot easier. Like, it's not super, super intense. Same thing on the cheek. And this is in shade medium. I'm sure I've already told you guys, but I just feel like this is so much easier to apply than some other bronzers. It is very soft. It literally gives me a sheen of sun. Half my nose. Half my chin. All right. There's Kosas. And I might apply more, but I feel like that looks pretty normal. Okay, let me brush this off. The Ilia. Okay, so this is shade Novelty. It's the deeper one, but they only make two, and the lighter one literally looked like my skin tone. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Pick up the color on all four sides of the brush. Start on the forehead. Sorry, my mirror. I mean, I think you can even see already. It's just, it's intense. It's a lot of pigment. So maybe it would be a little different if I have the lighter one, but I don't want to like blow through the whole palette in a month, like if I'm going to be using more of it. So here we go on the cheeks. And same thing, like see, it just, that's even with me tapping it off. So I have to like tap it off, pat it on my hand, and really blend it out to calm it down. And like I barely had any on, and like look at the Kosas. It's just really difficult to, I mean, here I'll do like the littlest amount, just 3 little taps, and still tap it out, and I still feel like it's intense. Now of course, as I mentioned, I'm sure in the beginning, sorry if I'm repeating myself, this is matte whereas Kosas is not. But I feel like once it's on the skin, does it really seem different? This is the Ilia side, and it just to me does not look as pretty as the Kosas. Like I actually want to take a foundation brush and kind of soften this one. It's a lot. It's a lot of pigment. And if you're not like somebody who's good at makeup, I can see it being a hot mess. It just looks so much softer. I really just think I love powders that have a sheen to it. Same thing goes, I mean, this is empty, but the Hourglass Ambient lighting powders. This is Luminous Light. I love this. I have gone through so many of these. I love this kind of sheen, the same baked kind of sheen. When it's on the skin, it looks so soft and natural. So, however, with that being said, I do want to give Ilia a shout out because this highlighter they released with the bronzer, the Daylight highlighting powder, I've been loving this. I've been wearing this regularly on my Instagram. Everybody is like asking me what my highlight is lately. So for the highlight that they released, loving. So I'll show you how this works. It's kind of a cross between like a Becca highlighter, not as intense as Becca, but not as soft as Hourglass. So here we go. That's the highlighter, which I think is beautiful. So pretty. Like that is, sorry, beautiful. No issues here. And this is, I'm sure I told you guys, the Decades one is the lighter one. It is flawless. It's like the perfect clean beauty highlighter. I've tried a couple and either they just have not enough sheen to them or, well, that's pretty much the gist of it. They just don't have enough sheen. So this one has been my favorite lately. I love the Beautycounter ones too, don't get me wrong, but the problem with the Beautycounter ones is we really need one more shade, in my opinion, because we have a very light one, lighter than this, called Halo. It's almost like a white. Do I have it here? No. And then the next one we have is Topaz, which I use the most, but it's a little darker than this one, which sometimes is too dark for me if I don't have self-tanner on. So there's the Ilia, and here's Topaz from Beautycounter. You can see it's a little darker. So this is like that perfect champagne, light champagne. So for blush today, I'm going to use Beautycounter Melon, which is my go-to lately. It's a matte peachy pink. I'm just gonna pop that on the center. I will blend this out, do not fret. I know it looks nuts. And buff the blush out a little bit. Some people might like it like this. I love blush, don't get me wrong. I have more blushes than I know what to do with, but I like it a little softer on the cheeks. Lips, 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 lips. I am going to use this Beautycounter Azalea gloss. It is fun, a fun summer gloss, but I'm only gonna use a little bit of it. I don't wanna go too bright. And I have some concealer on my lips, so it'll naturally like mute it out a little bit. Love it. All right, let me take this clip out. And now we can kind of look at the face. Hopefully I don't look crazy with two different bronzers on today. All right, so Kosas. I don't even think like this is a competition. I just have to show you guys how it really works. Ilia. I think both of these brands are offering something great right now. That's what I have to say about that. So anyway, I hope this makes it a little easier to decide between which bronzer you think you'd want. All right, hope that was helpful.